You're watching Personal Finance with Coach Kelvin. Let's get into the video. Hey guys, Coach Kelvin here, and it finally happened. I got COVID. So today I just want to highlight the importance of having savings and a bit of an emergency fund to fall back on, because if you find yourself in this sort of situation where you're unable to earn income, you have no leave to fall back on, and you have no lines of credit you could possibly draw from, things can get very, very tense and difficult for you. So we're very lucky here in Australia that we've only pretty much just been exposed to the Omicron COVID variant, and as a result, we're sort of just getting our cases increasing to the thousands every single day here in Western Australia in Perth. And I think, considering that we're at the start of 2022 and this is the closest to being even mildly sick I've had in, over 2 years, I'm very grateful for this. The thing that's hard, however, is now I have to isolate for 7 days. And had I not been in a financial position where I've been saving, putting money away and preparing for this, then this could be a very tense and difficult time. So basically, I just want to point out that whenever you get paid every single month or every single week, have a portion of your income be put aside for investments before you even get a chance to see that money. An automatic transfer can take place and it automatically leaves your account and goes straight into this investment account. Do the same with an emergency fund. Build that up so that way you actually have some sort of like cushion to fall back on if you are unable to earn income for a period of time. So it's very stressful knowing that you've got no upcoming income coming into the bank account, but if you do have any bills or food to buy or rent to pay, this needs to happen. Now, I'm coming to you with this video from somewhere different today. My family is away, so I'm actually staying at the family home, and I'm not at my normal apartment in Lathlane. Thank God too, because for the last few months my plumbing has not been working there, and I've been trying to deal with the property owner and the real estate company to get this fixed, but it's been a very difficult time. So I'm in the process of dealing with that at the same time. Then I got told to isolate. I can't isolate somewhere without a working toilet, so here we are. Now, as a property owner myself, if I have mortgages to pay and I've got these lines of credit or liabilities where I can essentially draw money from my mortgage if I need to, but I don't want to have to do that, I still need to make my mortgage payments every single month. So what I try and do is keep at least $5,000 aside for each of the mortgages or the properties that I have. Any expenses that come up where maybe they're a little unforeseeable, they're a little difficult to plan for, yet they do sometimes happen as a property owner, at least now I have funds to fall back on where I can just immediately pay for that and it's done. So even though I'm not staying at my apartment right now, I still have to pay for the lease. I'm trying to negotiate with the property manager because obviously I'm unable to stay there due to it being unlivable. So I'm trying to negotiate, can I have my rent reduced or at least put on hold until these plumbing issues are resolved. But who knows where this will go or what will happen. So I'm currently trying my best to deal with this. So when you are obviously in a position like me right now with COVID, where you're unable to go out and earn income, it makes sense to have already built up a bit of a passive income stream. So through perhaps rental properties, through investing, crypto staking, something like that, we want to have income coming in from sources other than the income we earn from working. So if you have passive income, which means you don't have to work and you keep earning the income based on work you've previously done, then you're not going to take home so much stress, because you still have some sort of funds coming in that you don't have to be present for. So in the event you do have to isolate, or you get sick or injured, or perhaps you have to travel for some compassionate reason, you at least have income coming in that can cover some of those short-term expenses. Now, I'm very fortunate in the position I've been in because Western Australia didn't have super long lockdowns in the last 2 years, as I mentioned before. So for this entire period of time, I've been able to work, earn money, save and invest. So I actually do have a decent emergency fund. I do have a bit of investments that I could sell if I needed to, if I got into a really tight spot, although that's kind of my last case scenario. And I can also, tighten the belt on some expenses. I don't need to buy coffee as often because I'll be stuck at home. I don't have any paid subscription services or anything like that. And I'm just able to basically, really constrict how much money is outflowing out of my account, because for the next 7 days, I essentially won't be driving either. So I may as well just go back to really living as frugally as possible, enjoying these 7 days off work, rest, sleep, eat as much as possible, and look forward to get back to training in the gym, to working, earning some income, and living my life. Now, I think it's really important, even if you're someone who has annual leave banked up or you have a credit card, make sure you have some sort of emergency fund, because you don't want to have to wait if you are without income. So, for example, getting annual leave, you'll have to receive that pay in your next pay cycle. And let's say if you were someone on salary paid monthly and you lost your work after having spent a lot of money over the weekend or something like this, and you had to wait 3 more weeks to receive that income, that becomes extremely stressful. That becomes, you're going to get impatient waiting for that money to come in. So definitely having some cash aside ready for those sorts of situations makes sense. Now, a lot of forums online, especially around, personal finance, credits, etc., they'll suggest as a minimum to invest and save about 10% of your income. But obviously, the more that we save and invest, the sooner our fire date is reached, because lower expenses, higher savings, your investments will sooner cover your cost of living. So you are going to, out of every 10% that you decrease your expenses by, you're going to be able to save and invest an extra 10%. Thus, you will actually reach that FIRE number a lot sooner. You'll be able to cover all of your expenses, your emergencies, everything, and you're going to find that life is just a little less stressful. You're going to sleep better at night as a result, and you'll always have extra money aside if an investment opportunity in the market does pop up, an investment property pops up, or you want to go take a holiday and spend some time with your friends and family. You're not going to be worried about this because you are already prepared for the worst case scenario. I myself, I would definitely not have wanted to catch COVID and have to go without work this week, but I mean, whatever, it's just part of living life in 2022 somewhere in the world, isn't it? And I guess lucky for me, I do actually have the means to be able to stay in a better house than where I normally live because of this. And with my parents away on holiday themselves, I get to isolate here and sort of enjoy myself. So yeah, we'll see. I luckily already had some gym equipment here as well, so I can still keep training a little bit, although at a much restricted rate. I'll try and get back into the habit of producing YouTube videos and uploading them often, because I have been very slack with that lately due to my increased workload with my new job, training for a weightlifting competition, which was last Sunday. And also, I've just been trying to, I guess, be more social and get out and see friends and that sort of thing, which I obviously did put off last year as I was working a lot longer hours, especially back in 2020 when I was sort of juggling 3 jobs. So yeah, there you go. Having an emergency fund gives you a lot of freedom. It gives you the power of choice. It takes away the stress of how you're going to pay those next bills that are coming in. And I suggest, although a lot of forums online may say have 3 to 6 months of living expenses in your emergency fund, I think having less is perfectly okay. But having multiple sources of money that you can draw down on is the way to go. So let's say in cash you had 6 weeks of your living expenses in cash. You maybe had as much savings as possible in your investments account, but let's say you had $100,000 in your investment account. There's nothing saying you can't sell down some of that to cover expenses. Yes, it may be an inconvenient time, like in a market downturn or something like that, but most of the time having your money work productively for you is going to be more profitable. You can have money sitting in an offset account against your mortgage. You could have money in peer-to-peer lending. You could have money in cryptocurrency. But as long as you have other sources of income you can draw down on, including annual leave, including perhaps a credit card just to get you through that real short-term pain, and then you pay it down as soon as possible, Although I would not call this financial advice, this is just how can you survive when the water's really deep and you're struggling to breathe. So having 3 to 6 months of cash can be a bit extravagant, but I definitely believe that having at least 4 to 6 weeks in cash and then other drawable investments where you can sell down and take that money and use it as you require is very important. Myself, I only keep about $5,000 per investment property I have as an emergency for those, and then only about 6 weeks worth of cash on top of that to pay my rent, food, travel, etc. But again, like I've mentioned, when you are not working, some of your expenses come down. You won't have to eat on the road, you can cook all your meals. You likely won't be using as much petrol. You're probably not going out and doing social things, because if you're forced to isolate with COVID or you're sick or injured, you obviously cannot do those things. So your, I guess, discretionary spending should come down, therefore you won't need as much to get by. Alright guys, I know that was probably a bit of a repetitive thing, but yeah, I luckily have no symptoms. I don't feel bad at all. I just failed one of the COVID rapid antigen tests, and now I have to isolate for 7 days or until, or possibly longer if my test keeps coming back as a positive in that time. So yeah, if you got any value from this video, please like, share and subscribe. I hope you too can see the importance of having some emergency funds available to you, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next video.